guys, this next class is a strength and conditioning class using your dumbbells. I hope you guys enjoy it. For this segment, let's grab some dumbbells. Now, ladies, 3 kilograms, 4 kilograms, or 5 kilograms, depending on your strength, would be ideal for these programs. Fellas, let's start at around about 5 kilograms. If you're a little bit stronger, 7.5s, 9s, 12.5s, you certainly don't want to go over 15 kilogram weights with this one because you won't be able to finish the program. Okay guys, we're going to start to warm up. We're going to warm up just bending forward, working some uppercuts. Now what I'm going to do to get my legs involved as well, you can see I'm going up and down with it. Okay, just like that. Let's just start to warm up together. Let's go for a minute. Let's keep working through those. Little bit of a bounce. I want to start to get my quadriceps involved. You can see I'm keeping my elbows tucked right in, so really trying to warm everything up, get some blood flowing. We're going to get ready for some action. And 15 seconds. Keep throwing those uppercuts out. 5 more. 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. Alright guys, just another warm-up exercise. So we're going to go into a very light squat, come up into a light shoulder press. So you can see they're very light. It's not a full range movement, just a warm-up technique. We just want to get the blood flowing. Just straight up, straight down. Now as you start to warm up, we can start to increase the range a little bit. So you can see I'm going deeper on those squats now as I'm warming up. And 5 more. 4 more. 3 more. 2 more. Okay, I think we're ready to start. Okay guys, we're going to work some shoulder presses for this exercise. I'm going to take a nice front stance and I want to make sure my lower body is nice and stable and my spine's nice and neutral so I don't need to worry about my back. And from here I'm just going to go straight up. From here we're going to push straight up overhead and come back down to a T just like that. Let's get you guys to try it. Okay guys, let's get into those shoulder presses. Let's go. So you guys can see a nice sturdy front stance here. And you can see perfect movement from Christina. She's holding really good form. What she's doing is she's coming out to a T and pushing straight up over her head. There's no frontal movement, okay? So you can see it's just nice vertical line and holding perfect form. She's protecting her back as she's doing it. Let's keep working from there. We're doing really well with this one. We've got about 15 seconds left. Let's keep pushing. So nice steady movement. You can see the dumbbells are meeting at the middle, so that's a nice stable point to finish up the top of your exercise. Let's keep working. One last repetition. Excellent job. Rest. Lateral raise for the next exercise, guys. Watch me. So from here, I'm going to press my dumbbell together like this. I'm going to work a lateral movement straight up, just past my T, and straight back down. Now, if you prefer to start by your side out here, that's okay as well. So we can lift straight from here, lateral movement, straight back down. Your turn. Okay, guys, let's get into those delt raises. Go. So you guys can see Christina's arms are soft straight throughout the whole movement. She's coming up to that perfect T. You can go slightly over, 5% over if you wanted to as well. There you go. That's just going to test you out a little bit more without putting additional pressure on your shoulders. Perfect. Let's keep working. And it's nice lateral movement, so it's just dropping to her sides. So where you can go wrong with this exercise is you can start to bend or straighten your arms throughout the movement. We want to make sure we're not doing that. The other thing I want you guys to focus on, you can see Christina's feet are together, knees are slightly bent, and it's helping protect her back. So we want to make sure we're doing that. Got nice neutral spine, nice and tight, and working from there. Perfect. We've got one more repetition left. And time. Okay guys, we're going to work some alternate bicep curls with this one. I want you to watch me. So from here, I'm starting in a hammer position, so palms in side by side, just like that. I'm going to twist up into a bicep curl, and I'm going to drop back down. Now I want to make sure there's no movement in my elbows. Okay, so there's no rowing action. I want to make sure all the movement is from the elbow to the hand. Just like that, just really trying to isolate those biceps. Your turn. Okay guys, let's start those bicep curls. Go. So nice steady movement. You can see Christina's setting a relatively steady pace and she's maintaining it. Now she's dropping the negative, the way down nice and slow, and twisting. So we're twisting right up. You're getting that really good twist at the top, which is going to really focus on the peak of the biceps. Perfect. You can see no movement in her elbows. They're spot on. So exhaling, pushing up, inhaling as you're dropping them down. Fantastic form. Let's keep going. Now, I want you guys to also be conscious of your knees and your back as well. Keeping the back nice and neutral, nice and tight, and the knees are slightly bent just so that you're looking after your spine. One last repetition. And you're done. Okay guys, we're going to work some hammer curls for this one. So I want you to watch me. I've got my elbows by my side. Palms are facing each other, so it's in that hammer position. I'm going to just drive straight up in front of me like that. And back down. Other side, just alternating. I want 90 degrees of movement, just like that. And keeping those elbows tucked right in. Your turn. Okay guys, let's get started with those hammer curls. So elbows are by your side, no movement in those elbows. Again, protecting the spine by holding it nice and neutral and having your knees slightly bent for this one. And pushing out right in front of you. There's no angle change with the wrists. I'm going to show you guys one way of actually making the hammer curls a little bit easier for you. So to make it easier to hold on to your dumbbell, in particular if you're using heavy weights, what you can do, I'm going to make a little change for you. There you go. See, we've just pushed Sarah's hand to the front, and what's happening is it's now pushing right up against the ball right here. So it's going to be a lot more comfortable. It's going to be a lot easier to push those hammer curls out. Let's keep working. Got to make sure the elbows are staying nice and stationary, keeping the same pace throughout the whole movement, and working right through. Let's go for 3 more reps. 1, 2, and 3. Time. We're going to work triceps overhead extensions for this one. I'm going to do it a little bit differently to how you guys might do it. So I'm going to actually use 2 dumbbells. I'm going to press them up against each other just like that. Keep my arms soft straight. Pick it right up, and from here I'm going to keep my elbows facing in front of me by my ears just like that. Dropping down, lifting straight back up. 1 more. Right there. Your turn. Okay, let's get into those tricep overhead extensions, guys. So you can see Sarah's knees are bent, protecting her back. The load is over her head, so you want to make sure you're protecting your back when you're doing this exercise. Now you can see no movement in the elbows. Elbows are staying nice and stationary. They're locked in by her ears. They're not hanging out at all. So we're pushing straight up. Now I want to show you guys a bit of a variation. So if you're having a hard time holding 2 dumbbells together, watch me. What I can do is I can grip with one hand, support with the other hand, and do exactly the same exercise, but I'm going to do it with just 1 dumbbell. That's another way of doing it. Let's keep working. We've got 3 more reps. Time. Bent over rows for this next exercise, guys. Watch me. So I'm gonna go knees together, nice neutral spine, just bending right over. And what I'm gonna do from here, I'm gonna pull straight to my waistline, keep my elbows tucked right in, and drop straight back down. Just like that. One more rep. Your turn. Okay guys, let's get into those bent over rows. Go. So looking at Christina's form, you can see a nice neutral tight spine here. Knees are bent. So that's not only giving her a nice structural balance, but it's just helping her with her back as well. It's protecting the back. Elbows are tucked by her side, so you can see that coming straight up. Everything's nice and parallel. Dropping straight down and coming right up to the waistline. Now she's not coming up to the chest, she's coming to the waist like that. I want you guys to make sure you're doing the same thing. You can see nice steady movement. There's no swinging, it's a straight up and down movement. And 5 more reps. 4 more. 3. 2. Last one. And have a rest. Upright rows for this exercise, guys. Now watch what I'm doing. I'm gonna press my dumbbells together, so I'm holding a straight line just like that. And I'm gonna lift, this is gonna stay near my chest. We're gonna lift right up. You can see elbow to elbow. I'm getting right up to a T, leading with those elbows. Dropping straight back down, keeping the dumbbell together. Right there. And back down again. Your turn. Okay, Christina, let's get started with those upright rows. Go. Okay, so you guys can see Christina's leading with her elbows, which is perfect. This is exactly how you want to do it. You want to make sure the dumbbells don't leave each other, so we're going to keep them pressed up against each other just like that. And you can see she's protecting her back, so we've got a nice neutral spine. Knees are slightly bent, so it's protecting her back. And keep that action going. Nice vertical action. Now she's keeping the dumbbells close to her chest. You want to make sure you're doing that. Work that range. We're going to finish just underneath our chin, which is spot on. And stretching and resting down the bottom. Go again. Got 2 reps left. One last one. And have a rest. For this exercise, we're going to work some squats and we're going to add some calves raises to it. So I want you guys to watch. So I'm going to drop down into a squat. I'm going to come straight back up, calves raise, and finish there. Let's do 1 more rep. Your turn. Okay, Sarah, let's get into those squats. So a couple of important points with this exercise. You want to make sure your feet are parallel and they're at shoulder width. The other thing you want to make sure is the knees are dropping right over the toes. Okay, so we're not moving in or out with it. And you can see as Sarah's dropping down, she's keeping a nice neutral spine, protecting her back, and finishing at the top, lifting into a calves raise, a little pause at the top, and dropping back down. Good. Now we want to make sure we're keeping a steady pace with this one, so we don't want to slow down or speed up. You just want to make sure you keep a nice steady pace throughout the whole movement. As you start to get a little bit tired through this exercise, your knees are going to sway a little bit, so let's try and hold them still. Let's keep them in place. The other thing you want to watch out for is just make sure as you tire, don't slouch. You want to make sure you're keeping your back nice and tight throughout the exercise. One last rep. Time. Okay guys, we're going to work some squats, but we're going to do it a little bit differently for this one. It's actually a harder version of a squat. It's a really good compound technique. Watch me. I'm going to hold up a snatch position. So I'm actually going to maintain that over my head. I'm going to drop into my squat and right back up. So you actually feel quite a lot of pressure in your back as you do this one. You're almost going to forget about your quadriceps as you do it. Right there. More pressure on your back than on your quads and glutes. Let's get you guys to try it. All right, I'm going to get in on the action with you guys. Let's go. So the trick here is I'm going to try to keep my arms as soft straight as possible throughout the whole movement. So I don't want to actually create any shoulder presses. I want to try and leave it up there. Dropping right down, picking it right back up, keeping my feet nice and parallel. And you can see I'm dropping down into a chair right there and lifting straight back up. You want to make sure you get 90 degrees of action. Okay? It's going to get pretty difficult to hold the weight up. I'm starting to really feel it now. And keep working. I'm trying to keep my arms over my head as much as I can. Okay? It's going to be natural for it to start to work its way to the front, but don't let it. Give me 2 more reps. 1 more. And a well-earned rest after this one. Okay, we're going to work a calves raise combination for this one. I want you guys to watch. So I'm going to start off in a V position. We're going to work some V or ballet calves raises if you like. So from here, I'm just going to lift right up, get that pause at the top, drop back down with my heels together. Okay, just like that. Now, then what we'll do after 45 seconds, we're going to change it up. We're going to go pigeon toes. So your toes are touching each other just like that. We're going to lift from here, really work the outside of the calves from here, okay? This one's really hard on your stabilizers because it's completely unnatural. It's going to really work the outside of your calves. Let's go. Okay, let's get into those calves raises, guys. Go. So you guys can see Sarah's holding a nice V. Heels are together, toes are right out. We've got a nice 90-degree range between the toes there. And what you want to make sure you do is you want to make sure you're putting a little pause at the top, okay? That point where you're really flexing your calves. Let's get that. Let's really hit it. And then come back down, rest, and go again. We're going to keep going. We've got about 20 seconds left on this one, and then we're going to change it, and we're going to go toes in. We're going to do a pigeon toe calves raise then. Let's keep working. Give me 3 more. 2 more. Nice, steady movement. Let's not change the pace. And change them over now. So toes together, heels out, and go from there. Now this one's a lot harder on your stabilizer, so you might tend to wobble a little bit. Doesn't matter, fight through it. Let's keep working through it. Right up, I want you to try and put a little bit more of a pause at the top. Perfect. So you feel that digging into your calves from underneath, you also feel it outside of your calves as well. Good, we've got 5 more left on this one. Good. One last one. Excellent, have a rest. Okay, we're going to work some lunges now, guys. Watch me. I'm going to get a nice lunge stance, front stance, and I'm going to make sure my toes are both pointing in the same direction in front of me. Now, I'm wide enough to have a nice sturdy base, and so from here, I'm going to drop down into my lunge, pick it straight back up, okay? Really squeezing with my glute at the top of that one. Drop down and pick it back up. We're going to do 45 seconds with one leg, and then switch it over, do the other side as well. Your turn. Okay, let's get into it, guys. Let's go. So a couple of important notes when you're lunging. You want to make sure both your toes are pointing in the same direction. And the other thing you want to make sure you do is you want to be about shoulder width. Okay, you're going to have problems balancing if you're going to go one line in front of the other. Now drop straight down. We're going to go straight down. We're going to make sure the knee doesn't touch the floor. We're going to be about 1 inch off. And you can see Christina's keeping that front leg nice and vertical as she's dropping those lunges. These are perfect. Let's keep them going. You want to make sure you're not leaning forward either. As you start to tire, you tend to start to lean forward. So we want to try and avoid that. Let's get a couple of more repetitions out on this side. And then what we'll do is we're going to switch over, do the other side as well. Give me one more after this, Christina. And change legs. Let's keep going. Perfect. Good. So the dumbbells are just staying by your side. Your arms aren't doing anything. Okay, it's just adding a little bit of resistance to your lunge. That's all it's doing. We want to make sure the lunge stance is long enough as well. You're going to have some trouble. You're going to do it incorrectly if you shorten your stance. We want to make sure it's nice and lengthy. This is perfect. Let's keep them going. Now, as you get to the top, make sure you're straightening that back leg out. Okay, really squeeze with the glutes, straighten that back leg out, and then drop down to the next one. We've got 2 repetitions left. Good work. Have a rest. We're going to work some deadlifts for this exercise. So the way I'm going to do it is I'm going to clasp my dumbbells together in front of me like that. What I'm going to do, I'm going to drop down into a squat. I'm going to go all the way down until my dumbbell touches the ground. And from here, as I come up, I'm going to tighten up with my back, just like that. Okay? So dropping down, leaning forward ever so slightly, and tightening my back up. So this is the deadlift. It's different to a squat. One more repetition. Right there. Your turn. Okay, let's get into those deadlifts, guys. So you can see we're keeping our feet nice and parallel, shoulder width, and the dumbbells are coming just in between your legs. So we're going to go right in front of your toes, in between. It's touching the floor. Now, the reason I want you to touch the floor is we're going to get more work out of your back. So this is going to be very distinctly different to a squat. As we come back up, I want you to tighten your back right up. So we want to emphasize on tightening that back right there. There you go. So we're really working those posterior obliques and really tightening up the lower back, looking after that lumbar region. Let's keep going. Now the trick here is make sure your knees stay over your toes, so we don't want to start to pull them out at all. We've got 3 repetitions left on this one, Christina. Go. That's 1, 2, one last one. And have a rest. Okay, stiff leg deadlifts, guys. So I'm going to clasp my weights together just like that. Now I'm going to keep my knees straight for this one. I'm going to drop forward. I'm keeping my spine neutral, so I'm not allowing it to do this, okay? Just holding it neutral, getting as far down as I can. I'm going to come back up and tighten my back right up again, okay? So let's try one more of those. And your turn. Okay guys, let's get into those stiff leg deadlifts. Go. Excellent. So you guys can see Sarah's knees are staying nice and straight. Her spine's remaining neutral, so she's not allowing any hunch at all. Let's keep working. Dumbbells are sticking together. That's going to assist her with control. And as you work your way down, you're going to get a really good stretch in the hamstrings and the back of the knees as well. That's okay. Let's keep working with that. Let's keep working. Excellent. So you guys can see a nice steady pace that we're maintaining. I want you guys to do the same thing. Let's keep going. Two more reps. And have a rest. Good job. Okay guys, we're going to work some biceps preacher curls for this one. I want you to watch me. So I'm going to use my opposite arm to set up a preacher. Now I can either go hands straight or knuckles, and I'm gonna bend out this way so I've got somewhere to leave my arm. So just above my elbows right there. I'm gonna start to work right through. So because it looks like I've got a bench under my arm, I'm not gonna lose form. I'm gonna keep that form. I'm gonna pump them right out just like that. Your turn. All right guys, I'm gonna do this one with you. So let's set up and let's get straight into it. Nice and tight. So you can see it's a nice full range movement. I'm getting right out to a soft straight. I'm not locking my elbow out, but I'm making it soft straight down the bottom. I'm curling right up and my elbow's not going anywhere. They're staying nice and still. Let's work that full range of movement. Let's get those guns pumped up. So inhale with your nose, exhale as you're pulling back towards you, hitting the curl. 2 more. 1 more. And change arms. Let's keep it going. So you can see my knees and slightly bent on this one, and my spine's nice and neutral. So I'm actually really tightening up my back as I do this, because I don't want to build an unnecessary torsional load and do some damage to my back. So I want to make sure I'm protecting myself the whole way. Again, arms are staying soft straight at the bottom. I'm protecting my elbow joint that way as well. Two more. 1 more. And have a rest. Okay guys, we're going to work some tricep kickbacks. I'm going to show you guys how to do it. What I want to do is I want to develop a nice sturdy stance to begin with. I'm going to use my forearm to give me added support. So by placing this here, it's actually giving me a really nice sturdy base. Now all I've got to do is worry about this arm. So from here, I'm going to pull up into a row to begin with. I'm going to hold that elbow stationary, and I'm going to start to work my tricep kickbacks. So I'm actually extending right out and dropping it back down without moving my elbow. Your turn. Okay guys, let's get into those triceps. Okay, so from here, I've got my nice sturdy stance and I'm going to start to hit it. Okay, you notice I'm actually looking back at my hand, and what that does, now forces me, it's like watching your form in the mirror. Okay, so I'm going to make sure that elbow doesn't move. Let's keep working through those. Good, keep them tucked in. You can see I'm putting a little pause right there and dropping it back. Now the trick with this one is make sure your elbow doesn't drop as you start to tire. So you want to keep it glued to your ribs and you want to keep it there maintained. I'm going to get 3 more reps and I'm going to change sides. Let's get one last one. And I want you to switch it up. Let's go to the other side now. Okay guys, I've switched over to the other side. Let's go. So again, you can see the same range of motion. So nothing from the shoulder to the elbow. It's staying glued to my ribs and it's staying nice and stationary. And all the movements coming from the hand all the way to the elbow, really tensing up the triceps right here, pausing and dropping it back. That's my relaxed position there. Let's keep going. So I'm going to exhale, hold, and come back. Just like that. So 3 more reps. 1, 2, and 3. Have a rest. Single arm rows, guys. I want you to watch me. So I'm gonna go into this nice sturdy stance. Elbows rested on my legs, so I'm creating a sturdy base. And from here, I'm gonna gonna lift straight up to the waistline. Drop down, lift, keeping those elbows tucked in. Just like that. 45 seconds on each side. Your turn. Okay, let's get into those single arm rows, guys. Go. Excellent. So you guys can see vertical movement straight up and down. Now, what we're going to do here, I'm going to make sure you tuck that right in. There you go. Perfect. So we're getting more out of the lats that way. Perfect. Now, you want to make sure with this exercise, you don't want to bring it up to your chest because you really fold your elbow over and you end up putting some pressure on your elbow. What you're better off doing is actually just bring it below your chest, a little bit closer to your waistline, around about your serratus. Excellent. You guys can see nice steady range of movement. She's got a nice sturdy stance, so she's well protected while she's doing this exercise. I'm going to get you to give me one more, Christina. We're going to change over. We're going to work the other side as well. Excellent. Let's change them up. And go from there. So maintaining a steady speed and finishing at a soft, straight arm is really necessary for this one, because if you throw it out, you're going to hard straighten your elbows and you're going to put some pressure there. So we're going to try and avoid that. Just focusing on keeping those elbows tucked in, pulling straight up. That's perfect. We got one more after this one. And let's have a rest. Goblet squats for this next exercise, guys. So watch what I do. I'm actually holding on to one head on my dumbbell, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to squeeze my forearms onto the other head. I'm going to bring my hand underneath my chin. I'm going to maintain that throughout the exercise. So I'm going to drop down until my elbows touch my quadriceps and lift straight back up. Now you don't want to touch your knee, you want to touch your quadricep, which basically means you're not folding over like this. You want to make sure you're maintaining your posture, and just like that. Your turn. Okay, let's get into it, Christina. So you guys can see Christina's holding parallel feet and her knees are dropping right over her toes. Okay, we're not going in or out. We're basically making sure we're protecting our joints. You can see she's also keeping a nice neutral spine throughout the movement, so she's not hunching over at all. Now, this is an excellent way of learning how to do squats because your elbows guide you and they essentially get you to the perfect position. Let's work through those. Excellent. You know exactly where to stop because the point your elbow touches your quadriceps, you're almost in a perfect seat. You're in a vertical line and a horizontal line, which is where you want to be. Give me 2 more reps. You guys can see the weight staying just underneath Christina's chin and it's not moving. One last rep. And have a rest. Okay guys, we're going to work some squats for this one. We're going to do it with a single dumbbell. So the way I'm going to do it, I'm going to hold with one hand and I'm going to support with the opposite hand, just like that. Right in front of me, kind of similar to if you're holding a kettlebell. Okay, we're going to drop down and lift. Drop down and lift. One more repetition. Your turn. Okay guys, let's get into those squats. Go. So with your squats, you're making sure you're at shoulder width, feet are parallel, knees are dropping over the toes, spine's nice and neutral. We're not folding over, we're not bending forward too much. You just want to try and keep it as vertical as you can. Excellent. Nice steady range of motion. You can see Sarah's got good range on this one, so we're getting to that chair, we're getting to that 90-degree position. So all the pressure is right in the middle of the quadriceps, it's perfect. We're going to come right back up. We're going to tighten the back, squeeze with the glutes as well. Fantastic. Let's keep working through those. We've got 2 more reps, Sarah. 1 more. And have a rest. Okay guys, we're going to work some overhead side bends with this one. So this one's a really good obliques exercise. Now because the weight's going to be over my head, I want to make sure I'm holding it nice and tight. So hold with one hand, support with the other, right here, over the top. And what I'm going to do with my legs, around about shoulder width, maybe even slightly wider than that, I'm going to go into an oblique tilt like that. And right back up and tilt to the other side. One last one. Your turn. Okay guys, let's get into it. All right. So important thing with this exercise, guys, you notice I'm maintaining the weight over my head, so I'm not swinging with my arms like that. Got to make sure we're maintaining. Obliques are doing all the work, so I'm gonna just tilt to the side, squeeze those obliques and pull them right back up, just like that. So you can hear me exhaling as I'm working my way back up. Right there. Let's go for 3 more. Last one. And we're done. Okay guys, wide push-ups for this exercise. I want you to watch me. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to make sure my hands are at shoulder width or even slightly wider. And I'm going to set myself up. I'm going to drop down, get my chest to my dumbbell and lift straight back up. One more time. You can see I'm holding a nice straight plank, so there's no snake motion. Your turn to try it. All right, Ben, let's get into it. Okay, so you guys can see nice straight body from the shoulder to the ankle. You want to make sure you're holding that hard plank in place and you're keeping your abs active. You can see the elbows are dropping right out, so we're making a perfect T over here. And we're trying to keep our wrists nice and straight, so you want to try not to snap your wrist back. You want to try and keep it as straight as you can. Okay, we're doing really well. We've got about 20 seconds left on this one. Let's keep going. Now, if you struggle with this exercise and you need to drop to your knees and do it from your knees, that's okay, but let's try and start in this position. We've got 3 more reps, Ben. 1, 2, and one last one. Perfect. We're done. Weighted donkey kicks for this next exercise, guys. Watch how I do it. So I'm going to set up by placing a dumbbell just behind my knee like that. I'm going to lock it in place. I'm going to go into my 4 points position, just like that, okay? Neutral spine, and you can see everything's shoulder width, nice and comfortable, ready to go. And from here, I'm going to lift straight up into a straight line. So I want a straight line from my shoulder all the way to my knee. I'm going to bring it back, not touch the floor, lift again. 1 more repetition. And then we're going to switch legs and work the other side as well. Your turn. Okay, let's get into those, Sarah. So you guys can see a perfectly balanced 4-point position. So you can see vertical lines through the legs and through the arms as well. Sarah has her hands in front of her. If that's how you're comfortable, then that's fine. If you want to change the angle, that's okay. It's not about the upper body. It's all about the hamstring and the glutes. Now you just got to make sure your heel remains as close to your bum as possible. You want to try and keep the weight locked in place the whole time. The other thing you want to be conscious of is we want to try and hit that line every time. You want 180 degrees. Perfect, right there. Now we've got 4 more reps on this side, Sarah. That's 1, 2, 3. One more. Perfect. Now I'm going to help you out. We're going to change the weight over and pop it on the other side. Lock it in place and go. Excellent. Full range of movement. Go at your own pace and just make sure the moving knee doesn't touch the floor. Now as you start to tire, you're going to start to shorten your movement range. So we want to make sure we're not doing that. We want to make sure you're going up all the way. Squeeze with your glutes, squeeze with your hamstring, squeeze with your lower back, and get that full range of motion happening. Perfect, let's keep it going. We've got 5 more reps on this side. Two more. And you're done, have a rest. Well done, guys. You got through today's workout. Now if you can turn your attention to your in-house instructor, who'll give you 3 minutes of stretching. Okay, you're finished for this class, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If you could assist us by wiping down your equipment ready for next class, we'd really appreciate that. Thank you.